everyone, and welcome. So today we're tackling a really bold argument from our source that India is making a series of strategic moves that are fundamentally reshaping its global power to the point where it's becoming nearly invulnerable. Let's break down exactly how.
Yeah, impossible to attack. I mean, that is a huge claim, right? But that's the central idea from our source. The argument is that India has quietly, almost behind the scenes, engineered a situation where a direct attack has become, well, pretty much unthinkable for any country. It's a really provocative idea, so let's get into how the source actually backs this up.
So, you're probably wondering, how is that even possible? Well, our source points to two what they call strategic masterstrokes. The first one is a massive infrastructure project designed to make the world dependent on India. And the second, an absolutely unprecedented technology deal. Let's dig into that first one.
All right, so this first big move is the creation of the world's largest MRO hub right there in India. Now, this isn't just about making money or creating jobs. The source says you have to think of it more like a powerful strategic insurance policy. But what on earth is an MRO?
Okay, so MRO stands for maintenance, repair, and overhaul. The easiest way to think about it is like a massive, one-stop super garage for literally everything that flies. We're talking commercial airliners, the most advanced fighter jets, you name it. It's the place where they all go to get serviced, fixed, and upgraded.
And this is where things get really interesting, because this represents a huge shift. You know, our source points to a crazy example. An F-35 jet was recently grounded in India for 35 days, just sitting there waiting for parts. Now, imagine a world with this centralized MRO hub. The manufacturers would store their parts in India, so that 35-day wait, it could shrink to less than an hour. That's not just an improvement, that's an immense strategic advantage.
So this is why the source calls the MRO hub India's insurance policy. Think about it like this. The whole world depends on Taiwan's company TSMC for microchips, right? Well, in the same way, the world's air forces would become dependent on India for keeping their planes in the air. So if you attack India, you're basically crippling your own military supply chain. It's a genius move, really. Okay, let's move on to the second piece of this puzzle, and honestly, this one might be even more of a game changer. It involves a deal with one of the most legendary names in engineering, Rolls-Royce. The magic number here? 100%. The source is reporting that Rolls-Royce has offered India a 100% technology transfer for its super advanced jet and tank engines. And get this is something the company has never done for any other country in its entire history. So what does 100% even mean in this context? It means India doesn't just get a license to build the engines. No. It means they get everything. The blueprints, the designs, the whole recipe, the keys to the kingdom. Suddenly, there's zero dependency. India can build these incredible engines for itself, own the technology completely, and even start exporting them. It's a total shift from being just a buyer to being an owner. And this isn't just any technology. The source calls it the crown jewel of aerospace. I mean, this is a kind of super secret core tech that nations guard with their lives. So the fact that it's just being handed over with full ownership, that's being presented as a truly monumental geopolitical event. And the fact that this deal is with a British company, Rolls-Royce, is so significant. It's a perfect example of a much bigger story, a complete, almost unbelievable reversal of the historical power dynamic between India and the UK. I mean, just think about the history. The relationship has gone from colonizer and colonized to genuine co-development partners. And the source claims the circle is now totally complete. The Indian Air Force is now reportedly training pilots from the UK's Royal Air Force, teaching them tactics from recent operations. It's a full 180. Now, according to the source, a deal this big doesn't just happen out of nowhere. It was built on a series of really smart, trust-building moves. For instance, India strategically bought some UK missiles that it didn't even really need, and that helped save jobs in the UK. That kind of goodwill, plus a major free trade agreement that opened up the markets, is what paved the way for this historic Rolls-Royce offer. It was all part of the plan. So when you put these two huge pieces together, the MRO hub and this incredible technology transfer, what you get is India sending a very powerful new message to the rest of the world. And that message is simple. We're playing by a whole new set of rules now. And the source interprets this as sending very specific, targeted messages. The message to China: India has powerful friends in the Indo-Pacific. The message to its traditional ally, Russia:
we're diversifying our defense partners. And the message to the USA? That's a clear statement that India is going to forge its own path, making deals with whoever it wants, the UK for technology, Israel for defense, France for strategic partnerships. It's calling its own shots. So the big question is, how is India pulling this off? Well, it's basically weaponizing its massive defense budget and its huge market size. They're not just showing up with a shopping list anymore. Now they're demanding full technology transfer as part of any deal. You see, an order for something like 114 fighter jets isn't just a purchase. It's a massive bargaining chip used to build an entire defense ecosystem right there at home. And this brings us right back to that huge claim from the beginning. According to the source, these moves aren't just about good business or developing the economy. No, they're part of a calculated grand strategy to achieve, essentially, immunity. The goal is to make the cost of attacking India so ridiculously high that no one would even consider it. So we'll leave you with this final thought from our source, which is really something to chew on. We're seeing a case where industrial policy is literally being transformed into a defensive shield. And it raises this fascinating question for the 21st century. What happens when a nation's ultimate weapon isn't a missile or a tank, but its absolutely indispensable role in the global economy? Something to think about.